돌아갑니다. 정동이 됩니다. 정동이 역전을 만듭니다. 2점의 장면을.
Winners of the AFC Champions League 2020, Ulsan Hyundai.
You're listening to the K-League United podcast, proud partner of Football Nation Radio.
Hello, I'm going to say Ryan Walters in the K-League United bunker. We've dropped the Kim Do-hoon from it. And I am joined this week by the gentlemen that are becoming my usual co-hosts as we look into the crystal ball once more. I'm joined by Matthew Binns.
Hello.
And Michael Redman.
Good evening, everybody.
And gentlemen, yes, we are indeed looking into the crystal ball as that fancy intro may have given segue to. The K-League season is almost here, finally. Michael, I feel there were a few teams left out of that video.
Yeah, I was looking for the second team in Seoul to turn up there, but we won't mention it. We won't mention it. Next year.
So you admit there are two teams in Seoul?
You called me off after 1 minute.
Hey, yeah, the K-League season is almost upon us, which means that we just have enough time to go ahead and get in our predictions of what we think is going to happen for the individual awards this year, which is what we're here to talk about. But gentlemen, we can't really go a whole lot further without mentioning the fact that K-League TV is here. It exists. If you are listening to this podcast literally anywhere in the world and you want to watch K-League, tv.kleague.com. Every single K-League 1 and K-League 2 match will be streaming for free.
Yeah, it's amazing. I can't believe they've gone for the K-League 2 as well. It's where
the party is, baby.
Well, yeah.
They want to see somebody other than Jumbuck win.
You're listening too much to this podcast, I think. But yeah, no, it's fantastic. I can't believe they've only dropped it today as well. But yeah, great news for anybody who's wanting to be tuning in this weekend to what's going to be an exciting weekend of fixtures and hopefully an exciting season.
Yeah, all sorts of excitement coming, and it's going to be really great that when we get that inevitable question of, is there a live stream? Yes, there is, and it's quality, and you don't have to give away your credit card details for it. Anyway. All that information's on kleague.com if you want to find out more about that. But we're very excited about the fact that we can finally start sharing both divisions with everybody across the world. And with that in mind, we're going to start with the party. Michael's here for it. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to start in K-League 2. And we're going to go through, and we're going to, these always go really well. We're going to predict the individual award winners for each division. We're going to start in the second division. We're going to do the Newcomer of the Year, Comeback Player of the Year, Young Player of the Year, the Golden Glove, Defender of the Year, Attacker of the Year, Manager of the Year, and we'll take a little break, come back, name the MVP, and then, because we really like to make sure that we look super foolish at the end of the season, we're going to predict the entire table for K-League 2 and K-League 1. So, what could go wrong?
No,
it's going to be fun.
It always goes well every year.
I've never seen someone predict Park Ji-young for 4 years in a row and consistently get it wrong. I've not seen that at all. Paul, hi, hope you're watching. We have not renamed it the Park Ji-young Comeback Player of the Year award yet because he hasn't won it. So maybe if he does, then we can do that. But anyway, Michael, let's get into this. Enough of my rambling. Let's start in K-League 2, and we're going to start with you. Who do you think is going to be the Newcomer of the Year in K-League 2?
Well, I might have to be a little bit biased to begin off with, but I think Nicholas Benegas, who was literally last week only said that he's coming and signed with Seoul Eland. It was like the worst kept secret going that he was here in Korea during quarantine, and they announced him last week. And he came through at Boca Juniors. He's played for a few seasons at Boca Juniors B level. He's played 4 games for Boca Juniors itself. I'm very excited to see him play, and especially linking up with Leandro and Barbio. It could be a very naughty season.
Yeah, it was already fun last year. Add another piece. Interesting. Matthew, I'll hop in here because I think everybody will be very shocked by my choice here. I'm going with Aznawi Mankulam. Surprising, right? But I do think that he is going to have a really good season. I think there's a lot of scope for him to have a good season with Ansan. They could really use someone that's a good defender, but a modern defender as well. Somebody that can get in on that overlap and cause a lot of havoc for defenses because they just didn't have anything going forward last year. So I think he's going to have a great season. And I hope it's one of the best seasons we've seen in K-League 2, and it gets many, many more ASEAN players over here. But surprise, surprise, that's who I've picked. Who do you think?
I've actually followed Michael's lead, and I've chosen Nicholas Benegas from Seoul Eland. It may have been Michael influencing me over the weekend with his high praise of Seoul Eland has a Boca Juniors player. Seoul Eland has a Boca Juniors player. Yeah. Did I tell you Seoul Eland has a Boca Juniors player? He's been on loan a couple of times while on books at Boca. He's been on loan to Brown, where he got 5 goals in 25 appearances. He's been on loan to Defensores de Belgrano, where he got 7 goals in 29 appearances. But he could come over here, do really well. He's only 24 as well. He's quite a young striker, which kind of fits in with the Chung Tong-yong ethos, I think. So yeah, I've been heavily influenced by Big Michael, and
I'll give you the money after that. I'll give you the money after the podcast.
That was it. Nope. Not gonna touch that. I was gonna mention something else. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to the comeback player of the year. That's what we're gonna do. And Michael, we're back to you. Who do you think is going to win this award this year? And it can't be Park Chu-young yet. He's not in K2 yet.
Well, I'll give it from a former FC Seoul player. I'll give it to Yeon Jun-tae. He's moved to Gyeongnam this year. He had 14 games in the league last year and 3 goals. But during the Champions League at the end of the year, he scored 3 goals in the group stage. So he was starting to show it's turned around for him. And he's in a team like Gyeongnam who are looking to get promoted this year. So he could be a key player for them and really probably have a great season,
Yeah, I agree that Gyeongnam is going to have a very good season because I picked Lee Jung-hyup. He had 6 goals in K1 last year with Busan, made the move back down to K2, where he scored 13 goals in 2019. Still hasn't won a title in K-League, so I think I don't know if they'll get the title this year, because as I said last week, I don't know that Gimcheon's going to lose a game, but I do think that Gyeongnam, they're going to make that title race real interesting, and I think both of those guys are going to have a really good season. Matthew, which Gyeongnam player did you pick?
No, I went for a Busan player. I've gone for centre-back Valentino Cielis. He obviously had a very good career at Gangwon for 2 seasons in 2018, 2019, and then he signed for Jeju in what was a big money move, taking the drop down, but obviously, clearly they were going to be paying him enough. Clearly there was a big enough law there, but he only made 3 appearances for Jeju last season. Part of that was due to injury, but also, Jeju didn't really want to disrupt that winning team that they had towards the end of the season. He couldn't really get in, but he was a fantastic centre-back at Gangwon, a great pickup for Busan. I'd like to see, hope he does well.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout. He might get a shout later on. And actually, I should pull up the columnists across the country and indeed the world have been sending in their predictions, but we're giving them a few more days. We'll announce those ones this weekend, but he did get a couple of shouts in there. All right, let's move on to the young player of the year in K-League 2. Michael, who you got?
I've gone once again with Seoul Eland. I promise it's not everyone Seoul Eland. I've gone for Ko Jae-hyun. He spent last year with Eland on loan, and we've got him again for another season from Daegu. He was just brilliant for Eland last year, and he was something the fans really wanted to keep this year. We've managed to do it, and I think now that he's got a full season behind him at Eland, he's just going to push forward and just even exceed what he did last year for us.
Yeah, good shout. Giving people lots of reasons to watch Eland as well. I love it. Yeah, I went with Chae-jun, a name that used to ring out at the beginning of our podcast. It seemed like he was going to be back with Ulsan, but instead he's with Busan this season, another team that it's going to be really interesting to see what Busan does. But he had nearly 1,800 minutes and 2 goals for Gyeongnam last year, and I thought he was looking real comfortable towards the end of the season. So we'll see how he fits in Busan. I see Paul Needs watching. Hi, Paul. The all caps comments are always welcome. They're kind of not, but they are. Sure. Anyway, from Paul, sure, yes. Anyway, I think Chae-jun's going to have a really good year with Busan, and Busan's one of those teams that I think they're either going to really challenge for the playoffs or they're really going to fall off a cliff. But we'll get to that in a little bit. Matthew, who do you have for this one?
I've been just looking towards Gimcheon. I feel that Gimcheon have got some good young players in their team. What led me down to looking at Gimcheon was Park Sang-hyuk, who left from Suwon, had a good season last season for Suwon, but he's gone down there as a young player. But I've had to, I'll admit, I've had to been a bit unfamiliar with some of the ins and outs. I've gone to K-League United ourselves, some cheeky plug for our own website. But I've been having a look at the preview by Thomas Mark Antonio, and he's gone for Kwon Hyuk-kyo, former Busan midfielder, box to box midfielder. He's going to get a lot of game time this season. I think I'm going to go with him because I think at Gimcheon they're renowned for bringing out the best in players who are there, and with the under-22 quota as it is, these players are going to get some games. So,
indeed. All right, Michael, let's move on. I mean, actually, at this note, speaking of Gimcheon Sangmu, let's move on to the Golden Glove. I feel like there's one name that we're all going to pick here, but I'm curious, who do you have on this list?
I went for somebody different. I went for Son Jun-hyun from Gyeongnam.
Okay, go on.
Simply because I watch him have a blinder against Seoul Leland every time we played him, so that's the reason why I'm going for him solely alone. And I don't know, I'm only judging on my personal opinion. When I've watched him play, he's been brilliant. So if you could do that for a lot more rounds, then there you go.
Yeah, and I think he'll have an improved team in front of him this year as well. Yeah. The person that I think it will be is Gu Sung-yoon, because he was fantastic for Daegu. He's going to be ridiculously good in the second division, but it's not my pick. My pick again is Park Jun-hyuk, because he's going to win this thing one year. Last year, he had 10 clean sheets in 24 appearances. He had a 0.86 goals against average on nearly 100 shots against. The man is a machine. He's amazing. Give him this award. Jeonnam, put him as your starting keeper. I don't know what's going on, why they picked up so many other keepers down there. I don't like it. Park Jun-hyuk is the man to be between the sticks. He is your hands down Golden Glove winner of my heart. Matthew, who do you have for this one?
I've gone for the easy pick, and that is Gu Sung-yeon from Gimcheon Sangmu. I mean, he played 17 matches last year for Daegu after joining halfway through from J-League 1 outfit Consadole Sapporo. I mean, he's a Korean international, and he's in the second tier. I don't think we really need to kind of further explain it, to be honest. He's one of the three choices for the Korean national team at the moment, and he's down there. Yeah. So, yeah, I think he's going to have a great season. Maybe a quiet season, to be honest.
Yeah, and again, Gimcheon might not lose a game. They're going to go out and lose in week 1 now that I've been saying this so much. Anyway, let's stay on the back half of the field. We're going to take a break soon, but Michael, who do you have for the Defender of the Year?
Well, Defender of the Year, I've actually gone for Kwon Kyung-won from Gimcheon, but he actually ends his military service in July, but then that goes back to talking about Gimcheon of how good they're going to start. That I still think he will walk the league, even if he's going to leave in July.
Yeah, that's weird that you went with Gimcheon, because I also went with Gimcheon. I said Ha Chang-rae because the dude was ridiculous for Pohang last year. Over 150 interceptions in a shortened season last year. Regularly wins over 60% of his duels, almost a 90% passing accuracy. He was a beast for Pohang. Pohang are really going to miss him this year. His leaving is one of the reasons that I have them actually quite low on my table, which we'll get to in a little bit. But I think he's going to have just an outstanding season, and he won't be leaving halfway through, which is why I think he might actually pick up the award. But yeah, either way. And yeah, Gimcheon. It's going to be fun. We'll see. Matthew, who do you have?
Well, you're both wrong, because I've gone for Gimcheon Sangmu's Jung Sung-hyun. The centre back, he's just finished winning the Champions League with Ulsan, having made 5 appearances in that campaign. He's going to be there for the whole year as well. He's got experience in the top tier in Japan. He's played international minutes with Korea. Yeah, Jung Sung-hyun.
Yeah. We're not done talking about Gimcheon yet either. Michael, let's move to the other end of the pitch. Who do you have for the Attacker of the Year?
Well, Attacker for the Year, I'm kind of regretting it already now. I've gone for Ah Byung-jun. And the only reason I've gone for Amdon
Okay,
Jr.
okay.
is because he had such a fantastic season last year for
Sure
Suwon.
did.
So it's like, oh, it's easy to pick him again. And my biggest concern is he going to be able to replicate that? Now, I doubt Busan are the same caliber as Suwon this year. Suwon, fantastic for me personally. I really liked him play football last year, but can he do it with Busan? Especially with Busan's setup at the minute. I don't really rate them this year. I don't think they're going to have a fantastic season. So I'm Bung Joon begrudgingly.
I just hope he stays healthy this year. Yeah. I think that's a great shout. I don't know if I'm with you. I don't know if he'll get 20 goals, but even 15, 10, 12, 15 would be a good return for him this year. And again, just, man, I hope he stays healthy the whole year. He deserves a couple of consistent seasons there. I've gone with a Gimcheon Sangwoo player. I think Cho Gyu-sung is going to destroy the K2. He was fantastic when he was with Anyang, made the step up too early. We talked about this a lot last year. I think it was a season too early for him to go and play for Jeonbuk, but all that he did there was go ahead and get championship pedigree, win himself an FA Cup and a K-League 1 title on top of an AFC U23 championship. I mean, the kid knows how to win, and now he just needs to finally put everything together. And he's got Kim Tae-won leading him in this mission. I think he's just going to destroy the league. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch him play in K2. Matthew, you got the Batman eyes. Did you pick the same player?
Yeah, I wrote. Not only did I pick the same player, I wrote down two names: Am Byung-jun, Cho Kyu-sung. So, but either one of you is right. I think I went for Cho Kyu-sung overall. He still got 8 goals in all competitions for Jeonbuk last year. He was played out on the wing a lot because he was often just shoehorned in as the under-22 player, and he's not really a winger, but he didn't have the confidence enough to step up into that striker role and take that mantle on. Like you said, he's got the experience now of winning a title with Jeonbuk. He scored in the final game of the season twice. He got better as the season went on, and he could have a great season. He had a great season for Anyang when he was in K-League 2. There's no reason why he couldn't have a great season here. And if the Olympics do happen and Korea do manage to get a medal, then he could be back at Jeonbuk by August.
There you go. You hope. All right, let's move on. We got one more, then we're going to take a quick break and let anticipation build for the MVP. But we've got Manager of the Year. Michael, who do you have?
Manager of the Year, I'll have to go for Chun Jun-young.
Okay.
And I think it is plausible. I'm not just shilling Eland all night. I wrote it in my previews all over the winter time. I think one of the biggest things he needed to do was keep the players that had that fantastic season. And not only has he done that, he's brought in players who are reputable and are looking like Eland looked like. Normally, what happens with teams when you have a great season, everyone just takes players from them, and it hasn't happened to Eland. It's still built. So I think for him to have a second season now at Seoul and actually like drive his ethos into that team, I think it's going to be a big year for him. Yeah,
agreed. I think it'll go to the manager that's going to win the league, and I think that's going to be Kim Tae-won. He deserves Manager of the Year every year in my heart, anyway. And I think he'll finally get it this year. We've talked about Gimcheon enough. You know how I feel about them. I think he'll win it because of that. Matthew?
Kim Tae-won, same reasons. He's got all the best toys, but it's not like he gets a say in the ones that he gets. And he deserves silverware. He deserved it last year. I still don't know how Kim Ki-dong won that award when there was Sangja in 4th place. But fine, yeah, Kim Tae-won, easy.
Yeah, agreed. All right, well, we're going to let the anticipation build a little bit, and we're going to come back from a break, name our MVP, and then we're going to go from 10th place with the wooden spoon, because there's no relegation yet, all the way up to the team that will be promoted to K-League 1, but we'll do all that after a very quick break.
Fans, we want to hear from you. You're encouraged to email KLU at info@kleagueunited.com or tweet at KLeague United with any questions, comments, or reactions. Or follow us on Facebook to ask directly during one of our live shows.
Welcome back to the K-League United podcast. I am your host, Ryan Walters, and I am joined this week by K2 expert and all-around good guy. We'll throw that in there for you as well. Michael Redmond.
Say good guy, not about the expert. Barely remember my own name half the time.
Batting 500. And Matthew Binns is here as well. And a belated happy birthday to you, Matthew Binns. We celebrated over the weekend, but a public happy birthday to you.
No, thank you very much.
Birthday,
You're 29 again, right?
Still, apparently, yeah. It's great.
Just keeps going.
I'm aging like Edon Guk. Just you can't. I'm never going to retire. It's going to be fine.
Right. All right, Michael, back to you. Let's okay. I'm just kind of like delaying going to the table because these individual awards, I feel pretty good about these. The table, I'm always just all over the place. So anyway, Michael, who is your K-League 2 MVP of 2021?
Do I need to say it?
Chung Jung Young.
I've gone for Leandro. He's on the back of my new shirt.
Mm-hmm.
If you're watching it, you can see the new shirt. Now I've got Leandro on the back. I think he's going to have a fantastic season. He had a great season last year. And he seems like over the winter even, he's just been training. He's just been focused. And he seems like, okay, this is where it went wrong last year. This is what I'm going to do this year. And he just seems like he's just going to blitz this league, in my humble opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I went for a fellow former MVP candidate. I went with Baek Sung-dong just because I think Gyeongnam's going to have a tremendous year. I think they'll be the only ones that are going to challenge Gimcheon, really. And the way that they built, they were good last year. Gyeongnam really turned it on last year, and they've got such a stacked team. I mean, they got Willian from K1, and he was good in K1. We went over all the people that they have last year. But anyway, he's got a much better team around him this year. He was an MVP candidate last year. So for very similar reasons, I think he'll be in that conversation. And I think he'll pick it up this year. Matthew?
I've also gone for Leandro from Soliland. I like what I saw from him last season. I like the fact that he stayed there at Soliland as well. And that he should be a better player this season because of it. He's going to be more of a leader, I think, if he's with the newer players. And yeah, I like what I saw last season. He was an MVP candidate this last year. Why not go one step further?
All right. The time has come. We can't delay anymore. All right. Just in quick succession, we'll stay in the order that we're in here. Michael, me, Matthew. Let's start in 10th place. Who's picking up the wooden spoon this year, Michael?
Assam. No, not Assam Agongwa. Sorry, Chungnam Asan. That was their old name. Chungnam Asan.
Same team. Yeah, actually, same team for me as well. I think Chungnam Asan's going to finish 10th. Matthew?
Yeah, full house, Chungnam Asan.
All right. Let's move into 9th place. Michael?
I've gone for FC Anyang.
Okay. We finally have, we switched it up just one place up. I have Bucheon, actually. I don't like their business this winter. They just didn't do much. So I think they're going to struggle. Matthew?
I continue to share notes with Michael, FC Anyang.
All right. Let's move into 8th. Michael?
8th, I have Bucheon. I do have Bucheon at 8th position.
Yeah, we're not that far off. I have Anyang in 8th. Matthew?
Bucheon for me.
You were supposed to switch it up so the teacher didn't know, man. All right, into 7th place, Michael.
I've gone for Ansan. They were 8th this morning, but then they signed Durate, who used to play for us 2 seasons ago, so that knocked you up one.
Okay. I also have them in 7th. I think that they're probably a year away. I like the way that they're building, but I think they're about a year away, so I have them in 7th. Matthew?
Ansan Greeners.
All right. We need to hang out less, guys. We need to hang out less. All right, Michael.
We have not shared notes. I promise.
Yeah, actually, we didn't even look at any of our notes. All right, Michael. Who do you have in 6th?
I have Busan IPOC.
So do Matthew and I, apparently. All right. Skip.
Yeah.
We all have them in 6th. In 5th place, Michael, who do you have just missing out on the playoffs?
John on Dragons.
How dare you?
Again.
I don't. I actually, and Paul Need, if you're still watching, I'm sorry. I have Daejeon just missing out on the playoffs this year. I think it's going to be close like it is every year, but I don't think they're going to get it. Matthew, you clearly have Jeonnam.
Yeah, John and Dragons.
Rude. All right, let's move up into 4th, Michael. The last team into the playoffs, I should say.
The last team into playoffs, Holy Land. I think we're going to do it this year.
Okay. I think it's a good shout. I have the Jeonnam Dragons finishing just above and getting into the playoffs this year. Matthew?
Daejeon Hana Citizen.
Okay. All right. Michael, let's move into third, the team that will host the first playoff. Who do you have?
I think I'll be traveling down to Dejon Hannah Citizens.
Okay. I actually have your beloved Seoul Eland hosting a playoff game.
Well, I'd
in
love
third
that.
place.
I'd love that.
I think they're going to get it done. Matthew?
Solely Land for third.
All right. The team that's going to host the K2 playoff final in second place is whom, Michael?
I've gone for Gyeongnam FC.
Mm-hmm. Unanimous, I'm imagining, Bins?
Yeah, Gyeongnam FC.
Yeah, all right. And the runaway winner of the league, we've been talking about it all along. Yeah, we've all got Gimcheon, right? Yeah, we all got Gimcheon. Yeah,
Gimcheon.
I can't keep saying it because then they are just going to go out and lose like 3-0 this weekend. But honestly, they're just not going to lose many games. I would like this team for a top half finish in K1. like we said, there are so many Korean internationals on this team as it is, and they're in K-League 2. So, all right, there you go. Gimcheon are going to get promoted into K-League 1. Gyeongnam's going to host the final, and let's take it one further. I didn't have this in the rundown, but who's going to win the K2 playoff? Michael?
Gyeongnam.
Yeah, same. I want to hesitate and say the Dragons will get it done, but I just don't see anybody getting past Gyeongnam. And I mean, whoever's in 11th from K1 that's facing them, I don't think that's going to be fun for them. So I agree, it's going to be Gyeongnam.
The only thing that stops me is, obviously, we all know this is Seoul Eland's last season in Jamshul for quite a while because of the renovations. I'm just thinking of the Hollywood story of us just going to the playoffs in fourth. We beat Daejeon, we beat Gyeongnam, and then we go and beat 11th place. And I'm just, there's tears in my eyes in the stand. I'm sorry, getting ahead of myself. Sorry.
Gotta have the first couple chapters of the book first. Matthew, who's going to win the playoffs? Jeonnam, say it.
Gyeongnam. No, Jeonnam on in my playoffs. So,
well, that's your fault. Yeah. All right. Anyway, that's how we see K-League 2 going. We're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna come back, and we're gonna do this all over again with K-League 1. We'll be right back.
FNR is a revolutionary football-dedicated digital platform, the first of its kind in Australia. It provides a 24/7 live online radio platform experience, podcast hub, and acts as a content provider for TV, radio and digital. Having reached millions of listeners and football fans since launching, FNR is accessible worldwide via its website or app, providing a platform to discuss, debate and celebrate the world game. We are your voice of football, FNR Football Nation Radio.
Welcome back to the K-League United podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Walters, and I am joined this week by Michael Redman and Matthew Binns. And gentlemen, we are into K-League 1. Should we keep the order or should we switch it up?
I think we'll switch it up. I feel
switch it up. All right.
I fancy my chances a bit more with K1. I'm going to be honest.
All right, we're going to start. We're going to start with you, Matthew, and then Michael. Do you want to go second or last?
I'll go last. I'll take a back seat.
All right. Matthew, let's do this. The K-League 1 newcomer of the year is?
I'm struggling. No, I've got two. They're both at Ulsan Hyundai. It's either Valerie. I should have pronounced his name.
Okay, I'm going to go first here. I've got Vako for Ulsan. Yeah. He's still just 28 years old. He was one of the youngest. What a coincidence. He was one of the youngest designated players in MLS history. Well, San Jose's history. 26 goals rather in 94 games for San Jose. He's a Georgian international. He's played in Georgia, the Netherlands, Poland, I should say, and obviously the United States. I think it didn't go for as well for him as it could have in San Jose, but San Jose has got all sorts of other issues. I think this is a really good move. I think there's a good team built around him. I think it might take a minute to hit the ground running, but I think by the time the summer hits, I think he'll be in good form, and I think he's going to have a hell of a year for Ulsan. Matthew, I believe you said you had somebody for Ulsan as well.
I've actually picked the same as you, but I was also looking at their striker Lucas Intis here. Didn't really, he was part of their Club World Cup team, but I mean, obviously he's going to we're going to probably see him in the K League. He did most of his career in the second division in Germany. He's joined from Hamburg. He seems like a reliable striker. Second Bundesliga. I mean, Stanislav Ilyichenko came from the second Bundesliga, and he's been a fantastic striker for the K League. Yep. There's no reason why he can't do the same, but I've opted for Vako for first. My first choice.
Michael?
I actually went for Valery Kozashvili. Have I pronounced that properly? Nailed it. Simply because I was looking at his stats, and he's got a few impressive clubs to his name. And I don't think he'll ever replace Junior.
No.
But, he's no pressure. No pressure. So we'll just see how it goes with him, really. I'm looking forward to seeing him. As you've said, you've heard, I've heard great things from yourself about the MLS days. So, yeah, it'd be fun to watch him play, I think.
Yeah. Another reason to watch Ulsan. All right, let's move on to the comeback player of the year. Matthew, do you have your notes this time? Are you ready?
I do have my notes. I had my notes before. I didn't have my pronunciation guide, which is very unprofessional of me. But I do know how to pronounce this player's name, and just looking at it on this paper, I don't know whether I've made a mistake. But I've gone for Juraj Jeric for Suwon Blue Wings.
Bold choice. I love it. I love it.
I get it wrong every year, so we may as well just go bold. And Juraj Jeric, well, that's a choice to make. He's not a bad player. We know he's not a bad player. We have to start everything. Every time we talk about it, we have to start with that sentence because he was awful last year. He was injured last year. It should be said he was injured for a large spell of his time in Gyeongnam, but he didn't look like he could be bothered. He did score 24 in 36 for Gangwon in 2018, and he did score 13 in 31 across two different teams in 2019, one of those being Gyeongnam as they plummeted down to the second tier. He's in the team now with a manager who's actually got some tactical nous. I figure that, with a bit of restored faith in him, he could come back to the Juraj Jeric we know and absolutely terrify the league again. So, yeah, going for it. Juraj Jeric.
It's a good point, man. Parkuno Matata could work out for him there. All right. I have gone, I'm sticking up top, actually. I've gone with Lee Kun-ho, the old Lee Kun-ho, not the young Lee Kun-ho. He hasn't had double-digit goals since 2013, and that was with Sangju Sangmu. It's been a rough stretch for him. He didn't score for Ulsan last year, but I think, as we saw last year, Daeon had a nice uptick in form with Daegu. And I think we could see the same thing with Lee Kun-ho this year. I don't know if he's going to get double-digit goals, but I think if he gets 8-9 goals, something like that, it'd be a really productive year. It'd be one of his best in a long time. And I think that he's got the talent around him at Daegu. A little bit less pressure at Daegu as well. I think it's going to be a good fit for him. We'll see how it goes. Michael, who do you have?
Well, you told me I couldn't put the whole SC Seoul team in there, so I won't do that. I'll put Ki Sun-young in.
Okay.
So the reason why I put Ki Sun-young is because he was the not big money signing. He was a big signing last year. There's a lot of hype around him coming, and he didn't really live up to the hype as such. But you've seen the teams he's played for: Swansea, Celtic. He has got a bit of silverware to his name. He's a big name in the footballing world, and they made him captain now as well this year, FC Seoul. So I think he has to step up now, and now's a good time to do it. Yeah,
I like that shout a lot. All right. Matthew, we're back to you. Who do you have for the young player of the year?
Well, call me lazy, but I've gone for the current young player of the year, and that's Song Min-kyu, because how is he still under 22? How is he still at Pohang? He is absolutely terrifying at times last year, and he was in that squad on merit, not just because he was, not just to fill that under 22 quota. I mean, it's actually his fourth professional season at Pohang. His first season only got a couple of appearances, but it's his fourth professional season. Last year, 27 appearances, 10 goals, 3 assists. Yeah, fantastic player. He's got another year. He's going to be even better than last year, hopefully. And my pick for young player of the year.
I mean, I think he's the one. I think he's the one that will win it. I've gone slightly different, but not too far off of the track. And hopefully, Peter's watching while we're covering from multiple trips to the dentist. So send your love to Pete Hampshire, by the way, because dentist. Anyway, apologies to the dentists listening. I went with Oman Song because I think he's going to... Who else is going to do it for Guangzhou this year? Felipe is still there, obviously, but I think he needs to have a good year. I think he will have a good year. He just makes it under the U22 quota as well. Had 7 goals last year and 2 assists. And I just love watching him play. I just think he's a tremendous talent. He's all sorts of fun to watch. And I think this year is going to be a really big test for him, but I think that he's ready to have the focus of that team shifted to him. And I think he'll shine in that role. So Michael, round us out here. Who do you have for the young player?
I have gone for Ulsan Hyundai's Kim Tae-hyun. The reason why I've gone for Kim Tae-hyun is because not only because he played Freeland last season, they called him back to come back to Ulsan, and knowing Chun Jong-young, he wanted to keep these players more and he wanted to keep them longer. He was exceptional for Freeland. So I think he's ready for that step up to be part of that Ulsan team. Didn't play in the Club World Cup, but he travelled with this side to Qatar. But maybe it's time to shine the K-League 1 this year for him.
Yeah, I like that shout. All right, let's keep going here. We've got the Golden Glove up next. Who's going to be the best goalkeeper in K-League 1, Matthew?
Songbom Kun for Jeonbuk, and no surprises there from me. Obviously, I'm a big fan of this goalkeeper. I still think he is one of, if not the best goalkeeper in this league. It's either him or Cho Hyun-woo, and there's a very, very fine line that divides the two of them. But yeah, how has he not made a senior international debut? It's both a testament, I guess, to the players in front of him, but it's also like how vital he is to the under-23s. He's keeps getting picked for the Kim Hak-bung's under-23 squad, despite already having a medal, despite not needing to go to the Olympics. So basically, Kim Hak-bung knows that Songbom Kun is the best chance of getting the other players a medal. And I hope he can make his national team debut this season. I think that'd be the next progressive step for him. But yeah, Songbom Kun for Jeonbuk, great goalkeeper.
Yeah. I think it's likely to be Cho Hyun-woo again this year. I think Ulsan's going to have another strong season. I think it'll probably be him. I think he'll be my official pick. I just want to give a shout out to Kang Hyun-moo as well, because I think he's going to have a good year. Pohang need him to have a good year. He had 8 clean sheets last season, which is decent for 27 games, but not outstanding. But I think he's going to have to step up in a big way this year just because Pohang got gutted. Anyway, I'll keep mine short. Michael, who you got for the Gold Glove?
I agree with you, Ryan. Cho Hyun-woo. Cho Hyun-woo. I think once again Ulsan are going to be very good defensively, and I think they've got an exceptional goalkeeper between the sticks to back that up. Yeah,
for sure. Well, let's talk about the men that'll be in front of him and the other goalkeepers. Matthew, who do you have for the Defender of the Year?
Kang Sang-woo from Pohang Steelers. He's an overlapping left back. No, not particularly.
He's got the 10 shirt.
Don't matter. Numbers don't mean anything.
I like it.
You know?
I like it.
Yeah. He's a left back, but he does venture forward a lot. He was integral to Pohang's late surge. He got 12 assists across last season. That was his time spent at Sangju and then Pohang, and he came back to Pohang and bagged 7 there to get them over the line. So yeah, I mean, to be honest, for me, he looked the perfect solution to Jeonbuk's left back woes, but apparently Pohang managed to resist the law from Jeonbuk, which is something that they're not usually able to do. Pohang do love to send a player or two to the Honam side of the country, but yeah, no, fair enough. I won't be bitter. Kang Sang-woo, Pohang.
All right. We say his name almost every year, and I think he'll get it this year. I think it's going to be Dave Boltuis. He was impressive last year. He was really impressive in the ACL run. He's going to get that knee slide down this year. I can feel it. He's going to get a goal. He's going to celebrate with the knee slide, and it's going to be fantastic. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go to K-League's Instagram. They recently put that back up there for him, so very nice for him to be reminded of that. But I think he's going to have a fantastic season. He's had a lot of time with Kim Ki-hee, who I think he'll be partnered up with quite a bit this year. And as we were just saying, he's got Cho Hyun-woo behind him, so a lot of confidence to play the way that I think he needs to play, and know that if he makes a mistake, that he's got a good goalkeeper that can back him up. So I think he's going to have another good year. Michael?
Well, I went with a left back who does wander quite high up the pitch. I went for Hong Chul for Ulsan.
Okay.
Because It's going to be his first season, full season, because he came in the summer last year. I've always rated him, even when he was at Stew on Blue Wings. So I think now that he's in that team, he's actually got a full season. I'm one of these guys. I like people having full seasons. I think he's going to have a good one.
Yeah, I think he's going to be fantastic. All right, Matthew, back to you for the attacker of the year.
Right. Well, I was kind of tempted by John Buck's big name, but I've decided to go against it. One, because I don't want to look biased, but two, I'm wondering how much game time they're going to get due to the competition for that role at John Buck. I don't think. Well, yeah, as I'll say, I mean, I think Stanislav Ilyachenko could have a big year for John Buck. I am worried how. Yeah, it depends if John Buck moved from this single striker formation that they're likely not going to. So he'll be up for competition with Gustavo, who demands minutes by himself. So I've gone for one striker who's going to get minutes for his team, one striker who is integral to his team, and that is Stefan Magosa. I think he's chosen to stick around to the end of 2023, which, let's be honest, he could command a move elsewhere, Stefan Magosa. And perhaps it shows that he believes in the project, or it just shows how much he believes in Incheon, how much he likes life there at Incheon United. He continues to drag them away from the relegation spectre that stalks them season upon season. I mean, with some promising buys that they've done over the winter, they've got a capable manager. Incheon could even be an improved outfit this season, even ninth. But yeah, Magosa could well be the man to benefit.
9th for Incheon. Oh, getting me excited. Similarly, I said that I think, well, the way that I'll put this is Ilyachenko is my pick for Golden Boot. Cecina is my pick for Attacker of the Year, because I don't think that Daegu does what Daegu does without Cecina. I don't know. I mean, we'll get to the MVP in a little bit, but I don't know how much longer this man can go without picking up all of the awards. He is arguably the best player in the league. On his day, I think he is, but I think over the course of the season, every season he's been with Daegu, you could argue that he's the best player in the league. He, as we mentioned last week, he had 18 goals and 4 assists last year. Gets in a ton of one-on-one battles. He's just lights out. I think he's going to be the Attacker of the Year. Michael, who you got?
Well, originally I did go with Ilyachenko, but after much thought and actually looking at Incheon's team, I actually agree with Magosa. Because I was looking at them thinking, okay, same old Incheon are going to have a rough year. They've done well in the off-season. They've done well in the winter transfer. And I think Magosa, we all know how he can play. And with that extra support, I think he's going to have a big, big year. Yeah,
with Aguilar and Negiba there, I think he's going to have a really good season. All right, let's move on to the Manager of the Year before we take a quick break. Matthew, who do you have as the Manager of the Year that's not Kim Tae-won? Sad.
I'm not happy with this choice, but I've made it, and I'm going to stick with it.
Okay.
I think I've been getting carried away in the last couple of podcasts because I keep getting handed this team to cover, and now I've gone for it. So Park Gunnar Matata.
Matthew Binns is saying something nice about Suwon.
Let's just get through it quickly, and we can all move on. We can all move on. I think. I mean, him winning it's reliant on him maintaining what he did at the ACL. Personally, yeah, he's a proven tactician, though. He's one of the few managers I've seen in this league where it's gone, okay, clearly something has to change. Let's change it and do it. So often in this league, a team, John Buck included, they'll play the same formation every week, the same tactics every week. You can guess what's going to happen at most teams. He looked at his squad. He looked at the deficiencies in it, and he found a way past each one of those teams. I mean, it was lucky that Ulsan didn't verse him. And I'm not saying that Ulsan would have probably beaten him, but I genuinely thought, oh, he knows what he's doing, this guy. So. This is his first transfer window as a manager as well. He didn't have a transfer window at Seoul Eland when he was there for a short stint. So this is his first transfer window. It's been very understated, hasn't it? He hasn't really signed anyone. He's obviously got Joris Juricin, and he's got Nicolau on the wings. I'm not expecting him to challenge. Don't get me wrong. I've not gone full Scott Whitelock. I'm not expecting 2-1 Blue Wings to be in first place by a massive margin. Or first at all. Don't get ahead of yourselves. But I do expect them to look comfortable in the top half this season. And considering the state that he inherited them in last year, that's going to be quietly impressive.
Yeah. All right. I like it. I am on the other side of the super match for this one. I think Park Jin-sop is going to be the manager of the year because look at what he did with Gwangju and look at who he has on his roster for FC Seoul this year. They still need another striker. I still think that either Cho Yeonu, or not Cho Yeonu, I wish, Cho Yeon-hook, the young rookie, needs to have his best season yet, and maybe he can. I think Na Sang-ho is going to do a lot of the work up there. But what Park Jin-sop did with Gwangju is just fantastic. And I think he has, no disrespect to Gwangju, but he has better players and he has a bigger budget and a bigger stage with FC Seoul. And I think he's going to shine. I think he's going to have them playing really well this year. Michael?
Well, we said it before about Pohang being gutted, but Kim Ji-jong, I went with. I just think they had such a good season last year, and he's been there for a while. So, he's been there for a number of seasons. So I'm thinking, look, Pohang, can they rebuild again? And see if they can challenge for top 6 at least. It might be giving out a little bit where I've put them in the position later on the show, but I think he might. They've been gutted, but a true manager will be able to get the best out of any player you can work with.
Okay. All right, I like it. Real quick before we go to the break, we don't have the mailbag this week, but we did have one question come in from Rani Ka watching on Twitter. So hello. What do we expect from Lars Veldijk at Suwon FC this season? Turns out that was a pretty good move on his part. He's back in K-League 1 after dropping down a division last year. I liked what I saw from him at Suwon last year, and to me, this kind of a lot of puzzle pieces are in place now because when they signed him, they had An Byung-jun, and you're kind of thinking, well, why would you try to play these two together? But I think Suwon knew all along when An Byung-jun was having the season that he was having that they were going to sell him, and what a replacement Lars is. So I think I really like Suwon. We're going to get into that in a minute, but I think he's going to have a great season. Or am I too far out on a limb here, guys?
I don't think so. I think he was a bit slow to start when he first came to Suwon last year, but then during the end of the season, he was just firing on all cylinders ready for the side, and it seems like he's comfortable in the setup now, and that's the most important thing. So, can he take it up a notch? He's been in the K-League 1 before. Let's see what he can do.
Matthew, anything to add before we take a break?
I think it's going to depend on his role at Suwon. He was brought in at Suwon FC at K2. He was a support striker to An Byung-jun. An Byung-jun's gone. Now, Suwon FC have brought in one striker in terms of Yang Dong-hyun, who's 34 years old. Don't think he's going to be the An Byung-jun replacement. So you can see Lars Veldijk moving into more of the main attacker role, and with Han Sung-kyu also there now on loan, you can see Han Sung-kyu slipping in behind him. So yeah, I think if it works out for Suwon, it's a big if depending on the overall they've had there, but I think they're going to be relying on Veldijk for more goals this season, certainly.
Yeah, they're going to be an interesting one to watch. We're going to talk about them and all of the other teams when we come back. We're going to take a really quick break, and then we're going to come back and name our MVP, and then we're going to do the table one more time. We'll be right back.
Ulji Lewis is your neighborhood British bar and cafe located in the Old Giro district of Seoul. Decorated in old English antiques and furniture for a true homely feel, you can enjoy homemade scones, cakes and afternoon tea during the day, and traditional British favourites like beef stew, English ale, and a fine selection of wines at night. Available for private parties or simply an evening out, Ulji Lewis is sure to become your favourite neighbourhood pub. Be sure to mention K-League United at the bar during your visit and you'll get 10% off your bill.
Welcome back to the K-League United podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Walters. We are not into the Ulji Lewis mailbag this week. We're not all in the bin bag together, or the mailbag, whatever we call it. Anyway, we're not in there together. We are picking the individual awards of K-League 2 and K-League 1, and we are down to the MVP. Matthew Binns, who do you have for the MVP of K-League 1?
Well, surprise, surprise, I've gone for the player that I've just got a man crush on, and that's Cecina. K-League's David Silva. I don't know why I don't support Daegu at this point. He's just an incredible player, brilliant individual talent, but also he just drives that team on as the captain there. And I'm so happy we get to see him back in ACL. I know this is a K-League prediction podcast, but we get to see him back in the Champions League, and we've seen that he can do it in the Champions League as well with his performances. Was it against Melbourne Victory when he scored that goal? I'm not sure. Maybe I got that team wrong. But yeah, he's one of those foreign players as well that comes across and really he tries to embody the club. He tries to take it all in. He's not just there. He lives and breathes Daegu, and I think that really endears into a lot of neutral fans as well as Daegu themselves. I'd love to see him win the prize. I'd love to see him win it.
Yeah, copying your notes here. I'm all in on Cecina this year. I think this is the year he gets it. Like I said, I think he's deserved this for a couple of years. He is arguably the best talent in the league already. I think he takes it this year. I think last year, if Junior doesn't do what Junior did last year, maybe he takes it last year. But this is his year. Michael. Yeah. I know who actually won the MVP bins. By the way,
telling you, there was another MVP.
Yeah.
You missed it.
Right. Michael, move us on.
I agree with both of you. It's just everything that you have said. I've just said this. I think the same thing. He's a true fantastic player for Daegu. They love him down there. He loves being there, and it's just a nice little partnership, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep. And excited to say that's where I'll be starting the season. I was going to make the trip down to Ansan to see Aznawi make his debut, but worth noting as we go into the weekend fixtures, which we'll talk about shortly, that Aznawi unfortunately came into contact with a person who had COVID-19 at a fan event, so he is back in quarantine. So he will not be making his debut for Ansan Greeners this weekend. And as such, I have been rerouted. I'll be going to Daegu. So I get to see Cecina and this new look Suwon FC team, which I am all sorts of excited about. But let's get into this. Michael, you're going to go last. Matthew, you're going to go first. I'm going to fit right in the middle, and we'll see how this goes. Let's start with the team that's going to get relegated from K-League 1 this season. In 12th place, Matthew Binns has...
Gwangju FC.
Yeah, same.
It's a clean sweep. I've gone for Gwangju as well.
Yeah, they've just lost too much. They've lost way too much talent. They've lost their manager. I don't see it going well for them. All right, Matthew, who's going to be in that promotion relegation playoff in 11th place?
Songnam FC.
Same. Yep. Yeah, I don't think I don't think they have the firepower. I hope that I'm wrong, but I still don't think that they have the attacking talent there.
I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. I've gone for Suwon Blue Wings.
Whoa!
They've been knocking on the door for years. I just think it's about time. I've got to be careful what I say here.
Okay. You mean manager of the year led Suwon Blue Wings, yeah?
Comeback player of the year, Uros Jarrett. I mean...
Look, and his comments quote is saying, "Am I drinking? I'm not. I'm on coffee." Just to let you know. So yeah, I'm sorry. K2's my thing.
I love it. No, I love it. I love it. All right, Matthew, top that one. Who do you have in 10th?
Suwon FC. Too much change for me.
Okay. I have Incheon United finishing comfortably in 10th. I think there's going to be a little bit of a distance. I hope. Come on, Incheon. Michael, who you got?
I went for Songnam in 10th position.
In 10th. Okay. Makes sense. All right, Matthew, let's move up to 9th place. Who's going to be avoiding the relegation battle in 9th there?
Incheon United, the Giddy Heights are 9th.
Yeah, I almost went for them in 9th, but I couldn't do it. I have JG United in 9th. I think they have a really good team, but I don't think they're... I should say the middle of K1 from like 4th down to 9th was not very easy, but I've got Jeju down there at 9th, which I think first season back in K1, that's a pretty successful season in my opinion. Michael, who do you have in 9th?
9th place, I have Incheon United.
All right.
As you said, they've had a good winter, and let's see if they can do higher than they've done before. So, well, not higher than before, but be a better season than normal.
9th would be great. It would be really nice. All right, Matthew, let's move into 8th place. Who do you have?
Jeju United.
Okay. Oh, okay. I feel a little bit better about my pick now. I thought you guys were going to flame me for that one. I have Pohang Steelers down here in 8th.
Mm-hmm.
That just, sorry, Pete. I don't think they're going to challenge for the title. I think ACL is going to be a lot for them to handle. I think 3 competitions, even though there is the break for it, but there's the travel, there's everything else. I think it's going to be too much, and I think they've lost too much. You can't lose Ilyachenko and expect to get as many goals, and Palisevich isn't there either. I just think they've lost too much. But anyway, Michael, who do you have in 8th?
FC Seoul. I was trying to get him as low down as possible. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. It was Suwon FC. I do have Suwon FC now. I'm ruining my reputation tonight.
Oh, love it. All right.
No, I'm sorry. I'm joking. I have Suwon FC.
Okay. Matthew, who do you have in 7th, just missing the cut for final A?
Byung-Soo Ball is a lie. It's Gangwon FC.
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. I feel like I've been punched in the teeth. I've got Suwon FC in 7th place. I really like the way they've built. I know it's a lot of change. I just really like almost all of the players that they've brought in. They'll figure out how to get it together. I think they're going to be 7th, and I think they're going to be challenging for that top half, but they won't quite make it. Michael?
I have Jeju United. They were fantastic towards the end of the last season, and yeah, to see them, they've done well in the winter. Again, I said that with the other side, but they look like they've just reinforced the team, and I had the beauty of watching them last season. It was one of the few games we got to go to. They were just exceptional against Eland, and they could easily turn it on the K-League one as well.
All right. It's been different so far. I'm real interested how this top half is going to go. Matthew, who do you have as the team finishing in 6th place, regardless of their points total, as we saw last year? But who's going to finish 6th?
Pohang Steelers, for the reasons that you mentioned. Just too many things going on this year, and it's they've lost 2 of their best players.
Okay. I have Daegu FC in 6th. I don't know that they'll be able to handle all of the obligations, and it's only 1 spot off from where they finished last year. So 6th, Daegu FC. Michael?
6th place, I went for Pohang Steelers. I think 6th place, Pohang.
Okay. Let's move into 5th, just missing out on the ACL playoff places. Matthew?
Suwon Samsung Blue Wings. Juris Jeric storming them to the top half. Park Gunnar getting all the praise. Still losing to John Bucks 4 times a season, mind. But
replace Jeric with Kim Minu, and I have them there for the exact same reason. Yeah, I liked what I saw from them in Final B last year, and that carried into ACL in a way that I did not expect. They just looked so organized. They looked so good in ACL, and I think that they're in for a top half finish. I think they're going to finish 5th.
I've gone for FC Seoul. The true pick for FC Seoul. Just slightly missing out in an ACL place. I get some kind of justice and out of that, so 5th place.
Okay.
I just want to try and shield against them as much as possible. So
that's good. Makes sense. Matthew, who do you have in 4th and picking up an ACL playoff place?
FC Seoul scraping it by a last round super match against the Blue Wings.
That's what I get for bringing on a Seoul, Elan, and Jumbuk fan for this one. Well, I don't know what I was thinking. Byung-Soo Ball is real. This is the year Gangwon gets into ACL. They're finishing 4th. Hankook Young's going to lead the way. They're going to get this thing done. Please. Give me ACL and a beach weekend. That'd be great. I think they do it. I think they finish 4th. Michael?
I've also gone for Gangwon 4th.
Hey.
They've been knocking on the door, and they've got some fantastic players. JJ1, also Leland boy, I still am mesmerized by his game, so I think they're going to get ACL.
All right, I like it. All right, in 3rd place, Matthew, who do you have?
I put them here because I just I started at the bottom, and
Go on.
quote Drake, I'm here, and so it's Daegu.
In 3rd. Okay.
Yeah, Daegu in 3rd. I'm having it. Cecina.
All right.
B.
I'm a little worried about their goalkeeper. That's the reason I don't have them any higher. I have FC Seoul in 3rd. Yeah, I think they had another striker, I might have had them a little bit higher up, but I just think Park Jin-sop's going to have them clicking. I think a healthy Ki Sung-young in that midfield is just going to tear things apart. It's going to be really good for them. I think they hopefully will have two entertaining clubs here in the capital. I think FC Seoul is going to have a good year in third. Michael?
I also went for Daegu FC. MVP Cecina for us. I think he's, as you said, just looking at Daegu from a few seasons ago, being in K-League 2, to being where they are now, for me, is quite exceptional. So I give them full props, Daegu FC. I think they're going to have a good season. Third.
All right. Just missing out on the title, but getting a secure place in AFC Champions League. In second place, Matthew Binns has...
Lads, it's Ulsan. I think... No, I do think they've got a good team this year, possibly controversially better than last year, despite not having Junior. I just don't think they're going to hit the ground quick enough. They'll get their act together, but I reckon John Buck may have got away from them by then.
All right. In second place, I have Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors. Because I am tired of this crap. I don't know if that's actually how it's going to finish. I'm just willing it into existence. Jeonbuk, stop winning this league. The whole world's going to be watching this year. We're bored of you. Move on. Although I do love the kits this year. Modern and simple, a wise choice. But Jeonbuk, no, not going to do it this year. Second. Michael?
Sorry, Dan. I've gone for Ulsan Hyundai for second place. Yeah.
All right. Well, the conclusion is there. We all know what we got left. Matthew, who's winning the league in your mind?
Yeah, unavoidable, like death, taxes. There's always Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors. See you at the end.
Yeah. All right. I have Ulsan there just because I really do like the way that they've built. There are a lot of question marks around Hong Myung-bo. Easy for me to say at this point in the podcast. Hong Myung-bo. I don't want to pull a BBC and start butchering Ulsan names here. I'm not going to apologize, BBC. Sorry, actually, that was... We're not going to talk about the Club World Cup pronunciations. We don't have a full hour for that. Anyway, I really, really like the way that Ulsan built this offseason. It was only one match, but they looked really well organized at the Club World Cup. They are the champions of Asia. I think that confidence boost is going to be massive going into this year. I think that might finally get them over the hurdle, and they might actually win a couple of games against Jeonbuk. We'll see. Michael?
Well, Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors. Yeah. The only reason I do say is just because Ulsan have brought a lot of good players in on the winter, but the amount of players they got rid as well, I was quite surprised by. So you must remember all these new great players coming in, but they need time to gel where they wouldn't if the old players stayed. So that's the only reason for me why Ulsan aren't going first, and it's Jeonbuk this year. So
yeah, we'll see. We do have Dan Croydon very excited in the comments that someone has picked Ulsan other than him, but he had a good question that came in on YouTube, and he said, with all the disparities in our K1 predictions, is K1 the new K2?
Well, it's not predictable at the top or the bottom, is it? You know, Jeonbuk's going to win the league. Jeonbuk's going to win the league, and Jeonbuk will survive. But yeah, no, in everywhere in between. I was trying to fit like 8 teams into that top 6. Yeah, it's...
Someone's GPS is trying to tell him where to go.
for some reason, my phone thought I was talking to it. I wasn't talking to my phone. It just picked it up. It thought I was. Yeah, no idea what that is. There a K-League player called Bixby? I don't know what happened there.
All right, we're over the hour mark anyway, so really quickly, we're not going to go into too much detail here. Obviously, we don't have a mailbag just because we knew we were going to go a little bit long with the predictions. But do please get in your questions, comments, and reactions for this weekend, because we are going to be all over the place this weekend. The stadiums are open. Fans are going to be in the stadiums. I already said I'm going down to Daegu. I'm going to be watching them face Suwon FC. We've talked a lot about both of those teams. I'm really excited. I'm really excited to start the season in Daegu in that stadium to see that going. So that's my match to watch this weekend. I mean, obviously all eyes will be on Jeonbuk Seoul, rightfully so. But I think if you want another one to pick up, well, watch all of the games this weekend because you can. K-League TV, you can do it. Anyway, that's like the slightly under the radar one that I would recommend. Michael, which match would you recommend people watch this weekend?
Well, I'm heading down to Busan actually this weekend to watch Seoul Eland against Busan. Seoul looking to try and get the first ever win in the first round, which hasn't been achieved by the club yet. Still, I think now's a very good time they could do it. So, obviously, I'm going to chill my weekend now. Nice 3-day weekend down in Busan because we've got a long weekend there. And love a little Sunday afternoon in the Gundok.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, it is a 3-day weekend here in Korea. So, 3 games in 3 days. Matthew,
I've actually put Seoul Eland as my Survivor pick for this week. I know we're going to talk about K-League Survivor in a second.
No!
But
you went this early.
I've gone early with Seoul Eland this season.
Look what you did to him. Look what you did to him.
You just jinxed my team. I'm cancelling Busan. I'm phoning my girlfriend now and cancelling it.
Yeah, but for me, obviously, I'm going to pick the obvious one. It's the opener, but it's John Book, Hyundai Motors versus FC Seoul. Yeah, fine. I know it's John Book. Yeah, I know people want to see other teams, but John Book, FC Seoul. Historically, it's a big match. It's always got a bit of bite to it, and it was an opener back in 2016, and back then it got over 33,000 through the doors to see Kim Shin-uk start his historic spell it in neon green, but he won't be there sadly obviously now, and neither will those 33,000 fans, as it will be at 25% capacity, but still a massive game. And with it being shown internationally, as all games are being shown internationally, it's certainly one to tune in for.
Yeah, here I thought you were going to take us down a trip down memory lane. That was the first match that you and I went to together.
Yeah, it was. And it was I remember that I predicted that Kim Shin-uk would score, and I didn't have a bad thing to say about him for those first 50 minutes.
I will say you were talking
compliments.
It's true, you were talking about Kim Shin-uk when that goal went in. You were talking about him. What was being said is not appropriate for a family-friendly podcast. All right. We're going to get out of here because we're running a little bit long, but yes, you have a few days left to get involved with K-League Survivor. And if you're listening to this and thinking, what is K-League Survivor? Well, head over to our Patreon because there is a fantastic video that Inchun Luke, as you may know him on Twitter, put together. It's ridiculously fun. K-League Survivor, all you have to do each week is pick a team that won't lose. It sounds simple. It's not. And Matthew just cursed Seoul Eland by saying that they're a team that won't lose this weekend. And so, Michael, it was a good friendship, guys. You guys had a really good run.
Yeah.
So you can get involved with that as long as you can survive. For $1 a month. If you're involved on our Patreon page for $1 or up, then you are involved. And you can follow along this season for the first time on Twitter at K_Survivor is where you can find all of the fun stuff going on there. Along with all of that, all the other things on Patreon, Paul is still doing his daily news briefings for now. That's going to switch over to being the weekend preview this week. There will be the K-League 1 and K-League 2 preview along with a couple of marquee matches, everything to get you ready for the weekend, which is why we didn't necessarily preview everything here. That will be on Patreon, and then the weekend will also be out for our podcast listeners. We have Saturdays, Koreans Overseas, pub quizzes are coming up soon. All sorts of things are going on over at Patreon. Just go ahead and check that out. And if you would like to get involved with some of the goodies without necessarily doing a lot of work, well, then if you just leave a review for this podcast, wherever you download podcasts, and you'll be entered into this month's K-League Kit Contest, which is the last time to enter for an Ansan Greeners home kit from their inaugural season just a couple of years ago. That's all you've got to do. And if you would like to listen live, you can do so every Thursday on Football Nation Radio down in Australia. But I'm done making a fool of myself and trying to pick things. We'll see. We'll see. You know what? I feel confident about half of the things that I just said. So we'll see how it goes. But anyway, K-League is back. Get out there and watch it if you can. And if you can't watch it in person, literally anybody in the world can watch this league for free now. Get on it. It's super fun. All right. Thanks for watching.
Go, go.